Hello, everyone. Just tuning in. Just a moment. Let's see. So everyone give me a minute here while I'm announcing my going live here. Community. Okay, there we go. And how are y'all doing today? Yeah, we're doing great, Bobsheaux. We love you. Oh, thank you for saying so. I'm just going to get myself in channel here so I can see what you guys are all talking about so I can communicate with y'all. Yes, I said y'all. What do you want? Oh, wow. Got a lot of people in here today. Hello, Home Cruise, Sky Twerp, Grace Mayo, Brady Hickman, Ian Sweeney, Joey Margolian, Tom Jackson, Master of Gaburincho. I'm horrible. Please excuse my lack of being able to talk. Let's see who else we got. Mr. This Charming Man too. Hello, you are charming, aren't you? Guanglai Kang Yi, age 15. Nice to see you there. Monster Combo 007 El Perro Spike. That's a mouthful. Hello. Marvel Fan 25. I think I said hello to Tom Jackson. Christian Bennett. Alex Dionysos. I am so sorry. I can't pronounce names here. I suck. Awat 2000. Raven McBain. Nice to see you, Raven. By the way, my Raven is going to be a few minutes late. We're just going to have to make do without her for the time being. Mihaliv Konkurat. Sean Marcy. Mia Smith. Tarunga 1I1A. Hello. Fuke. FJOOK. Is that how you say that? Looks like Fuke. Mackenzie Edie. Hello. Thanks for spelling out EB. Let's see. We got Fluffy Warrior 44, Chaotic Neutral, Jonathan Bailey Art and Animation. Nice to see you. Crimson Tracks. Hello. Shiny Glacian 1234, Sky Crash 8, and Gabby George. Hello. Oh boy. Will I review the Lady and the Tramp remake, asks Home Cruise. That is a very good question. I do know this much. We are reserving it for date night. So, if Maleficent is any indication, probably not, but I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see. But otherwise, let's not ask questions about what I'm going to review in the future, please, because I like to keep things a surprise. Happy New Year, Martha G. Why did you say that name? I don't know. Sorry, I had to say that joke. Will I do a story time with the Dinky Donkey at some point? Actually, Mr. This Charming Man too, that was one of the very first story time with Bobsheaux that I did. Yeah, just go into my videos, search for or is Dinky Donkey something different? I did the Winky Donkey, but I don't know if that's the same thing or not, but if Dinky Donkey is something different, then I might have to look into that. Dinky Donkey is the sequel. Thank you, Sabrina, and hello to you. Okay, so no, I have not done Dinky Donkey, apparently. I will definitely have to take a look at that. Dream Master asks, how is 2020 treating you so far? It's another year. um, Maybe I'm just that much of an optimist, but come the end of the year, I'm never, oh my god, this year has been so horrible, like so many other people are. It's just, another year. Good things happen, bad things happen. Take the bad with the good, make the best of it. I don't know. Hello, Matt R75. Good to see you in the channel. Hope you survive World War III. Again, call me an optimist. I'm pretty sure we're gonna be fine. Just chill out. Everyone was freaking out about the whole Kappa thing going on. And yes, some channels were affected by that, especially if they were tailored towards children. But on the whole, I think it's going to be fine. Call me an optimist, call me naive, but that's just what I think. Ian's going to be moving to a new house soon. Sorry, Ian. I know that's tough. Best of luck to you, buddy. Let's see. What do you plan on reviewing this year's? Asks Sean Marcy. No. Sorry, I cannot give any information on what I'm going to be reviewing. One, because I don't really know myself. And two, I like to give things a surprise. I like to keep you guessing. Favorite MST3K host? Asks Brady Hickman. I think the manner of... Well, no, sorry. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure everyone's favorite MST3K host just happens to be their first. But if that were the case, then Raven's host would be Mike Nelson, right along with me. But no. She affectionately refers to Jonah as her doctor, being the Dr. Fuhan, being the Doctor Who fan that she is, which is just too cute. I'm sorry for using that word in reference to you, baby, but it is. Come on. Excuse me. I am hearing cars moving around outside and the dogs are yapping, which means that it's possible there may be a package outside. Best for me to retrieve it before someone possibly steals it. I'll be back. Just a moment. Nope, no package outside my door. The dogs were just barking at someone who parked across the street at someone else's house. Those dogs are very, very vigilant. That's what they do, apparently, and I'm just supposed to let it go. This is my letting it go face. Anyway, gotta give a few more minutes before Raven gets here. Oh, hello, Tank Ace. Got a longer question here. I disagree with one thing about Bayformers. Captain Lennox. He should have been the main human character. Captain of a special unit versus a horny, awkward teenager. Well, yes, we can all agree that the horny, awkward teenager should not have been a part of the franchise. Whew, let's see. Dogs, gotta love them. Not the tiny ones. The smallest the dog should be are corgis. That's it. But no. Hello, Theropod Hunter. I'm doing good. How are you? And of course, because I said let it go, several of you are singing that in channel right now, and I so love it. Oh boy. Claire Carey asks, am I okay, Bob? I'm okay. Yes, thank you. I am irked. That is the worst that I am. I'm not a fan of the tiny little dogs that my landlord has. They bark at everything. and I just gotta put up with that. So if they bark again during this stream, which is very likely to happen, I will do my best to just take a deep breath, let it out, and plot my revenge for later. No. Let's see. I am welcome to suggestions, Tom Jackson, but no more asking about whether or not I'm going to review this or not. Again, I don't know. I make it up as I go, and I want things to be a surprise to you all. So, son of a bite-sized Yorkie! Yes, exactly, Taranga. Favorite Transformers series? Asks Brady Hickman. That is a draw between Generation 1 and Beast Wars. Let's just face it. G1 is just classic. It laid the foundation for everything. And yeah, it had its problems. It had plot holes. It was corny as hell here and there. But it is very easy to overlook those things because everything else is just so awesome. And Beast Wars, wow, the writing on that. My God. Let's see. Stupid question. How late is it where you are? Well, I do like to announce that these streams are taking place in a Pacific time. So right now we're looking at 10:19. Yeah, sorry. Kind of a stupid question. No. G1 feels like a shitpost, but the movie was epic. Yeah, okay, moving on. The Beast Wars CGI looks funny these days, says Therapod. There was actually much worse CGI coming out at the time, so I don't know if that's enough to defend it, but yeah, okay, it didn't exactly age well. But gotta remember, back in 1996, for Canadian television, wow, this was amazing. Ooh, Triss Rock 77 says he's never seen Beast Wars. Is it good? Yes. Again, ignore the fact that this was made in 1996 because the CGI is not going to hold up to today's animation standards, but watch it for the writing. That is my recommendation to you. After this stream, go check it out. Story should matter more than animation. Absolutely, Mackenzie. Animation is good. We want the animation to actually look pleasant. Yeah, take note. Jimmy Screamer clause. But yeah, without the story, it's nothing. We need a Beast Wars movie directed by Travis Knight. Oh, God. Oh, that would be amazing. All the Transformers fans are waking up. Yeah, it only took them like 13 years. Guys, please, I implore you. The movies are terrible. Why don't you recognize this? Or for those of you who do recognize it, why do you tolerate it? We can make them better. We keep bitching enough if we keep away from the box office enough. They'll listen, please. Join me in my quest for telling the world how much they suck. Any new cool cats we should be aware of? Asks Joey Margolian. Oh dear. Actually, yes. I don't know how far along Daddy Derek is into production of this, or if production is wrapped. But one cool cat movie that we need to look at in the future is Cool Cat Stops a School Shooting. I'm going to say that again. Cool Cat Stops a School Shooting. Oh my God. He's going there. Oh God. And and some of you may have seen this on his channel. He created a stupefyingly cartoonish villain that's supposed to be our foil for Cool Cat, even more so than Butch the Bully. His name, Dirty Dog. And he looks exactly like Cool Cat, except instead of a big, cartoony orange cat head, he's got an angry, snarly-looking bulldog head. He wears a t-shirt with his name on it. He rants and raves about how much of a bad guy he is. And this is supposed to be our educational film about school shootings and what we can do to stop them. I asked for my fans to contribute to his Kickstarter when he wanted to turn Cool Cat Saves the Kids into Cool Cat Loves You, or Cool Cat Kids Superhero, he ended up calling it, to make it more cinematically appropriate or whatever, but I cannot ask you to support this one. I did say we need more Cool Cat movies. I want more Cool Cat movies. They're ridiculous. But we cannot support this one because he's just gonna get everything so horrifically wrong. And oh my god, the people he's going to offend with it. I mean, it's bad enough that the Cool Cat films offend people just on a cinematic level. But now he's going to turn everyone whoever was a victim of school shooting violence, he's making fun of them with this movie. And that is just completely abhorrent. Mr. Savage, I don't know what made you decide to do this instead of Cool Cat versus the Wicked Witch, because that sounds ridiculous enough that I might want to contribute to it. I have no idea how a child safety mascot like Cool Cat would go up against what I can only assume is the Wicked Witch from the Wizard of Oz. That's kind of what you were presenting to us when you were first talking about it. Maybe it's a different Wicked Witch, I don't know, but people hear Wicked Witch, they immediately think of Margaret Hamilton and green face paint. But why did you have to pause that project to give us Cool Cat Stops a School Shooting? It's not gonna work. You have to know that. Please know that. Again, I don't know if this is in production or if it's finished. But if it's in production, cancel it. If it's finished, erase it. Make sure that we never see it, because it's just wrong on so many levels, Mr. Savage. But yes, we got that to look forward to. Oh dear. Next Cool Cat movie, Cool Cat Goes to Costco. Oh boy, the weird heads turning in every direction that he passes. What the hell's that? Why is the guy in a orange cat suit? Wow, this is the biggest bottle of ketchup I've ever seen! Yay! Just an hour of that. You know what, Savage? Do that. Cool Cat Goes to Costco. Have him taking a look at all these giant packages of this product or that product. Have him sampling these little foods here and there. Have him interacting with some of the customers. It'd be stupid, but at least it'd be inoffensive. New movie coming this summer. Cool Cat finds his real dad. Oh, Lord. Let's see. Claire Carey asks, I don't want to write movies for a living. Any advice? You know, it's funny. There are several times when I'm reviewing a movie and I will come up with some kind of an alternate take on how it might be able to work better. When I do that, I find myself asking the question, what would Pixar do? Because these people are the best at taking the simplest, most inane things and figuring out how to make it really poignant. This is the first thing that I'm grabbing within arm's reach. I have here a little tiny desk tripod. I have no idea what kind of story potential I could get out of this thing, but they could. They could write a story around this, and they will make you cry. They will kill this thing off at the end, and you're going to be sobbing your eyes out. I don't know how they do it, but they do. And yeah, that's the best I can say to you. Watch and study the movies that you really love and try to figure out what works for them and try to emulate that. And always ask, what would Pixar do? Some things are better than others, certainly, but they generally seem to have a pretty good handle on how to not only get the most out of a story's potential, but how to really make you care. So, yeah, do that. Tripod directed by Tarek Savage. Oh, God, no. Raven has just messaged me. She is back. I am going to call her real quick. Get her on the horn. Where is Skype? There is Skype. And calling on Skype. Hello.
Hello.
Are we on?
I can hear you, and I deliberately can't see you.
Yes.
And I am heading to the... Oh, what a nice smile you have in your picture.
I try.
For your little title card.
Took me a couple of takes, but I got it. Yes,
Okay, muting you on YouTube.
Yeah, my camera smile is so awkward. That took me a few tries.
Oh my goodness, we already got 56 people. Sorry I'm late, guys.
Yes, we're held up because someone had to be late.
Someone needed coffee after having gotten her cat squared away at the vet.
Yes.
Just a warning, when the vet calls, the cat's supposed to be going in for surgery. Gray was supposed to be going in for surgery in less than an hour. So when the vet calls, I am going to have to step away for a minute if we're still on the live stream, because I have to update my son.
Gotcha. Yes. One of my lady's kitties is currently having an operation today.
She's having dental surgery to remove her last remaining tooth and any roots they find when they do the x-rays, because she has severe feline stomatitis, which is an immune system response to bacteria caused by a bad reaction to bad teeth. And it includes a lot of pain, inflammation, and bleeding ulcers. So she's 11 years old. Any surgery on a cat, any surgery is risky. Any surgery on a cat is more risky. Any surgery on a senior cat is extra risky. But at the same time, they did blood work, and her liver and kidney function is really good. So that's a very good sign for her outcome.
Yes.
On her surgery. And I'm taking my boots off. So I have a good feeling. I think she's going to be okay. But any prayers, positive energy, and vibes you guys want to send out there for Graybo,
please do.
We appreciate it.
Yes.
But she's going to be okay. And I just have to keep my son updated because he's rather worried. She chose him to be her person.
Yes, when a cat chooses you, that is something very special.
Yes.
When wasn't my cat?
5 years old when she chose him, and she's been his girl ever since. So her name is Graybo, and this is going to, if everything goes well, which I'm hoping and I think it will, she's going to have a much improved quality of life.
Yes.
Her golden years are going to be much happier. And she's otherwise healthy, so.
I'm sure she'll be just fine, baby.
Yeah. All right. So rather than making me scroll up through thank you everybody for praying and wishing her well. Rather than having me scroll through a very busy chat this morning, which I love, could you please go ahead and make your voice suggestions now, and I will start taking notes here.
Yes, let's get this show on the road, shall we?
Yeah. Oh my God, it's 10:30. I'm so sorry I'm this late.
It's okay, baby.
Coffee was definitely a necessity, though.
Yeah, last night was rough. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And while we are gathering voices here, I'm going to be taking stock about... Oh, God, what?
It's a typo, but it's adorable. It's supposed to be Bobby Wobbly. They typed Booby Wobbly.
That one sounds more like one of your voices.
Hey.
Hi-oh! You like bubbles? Oh, God. And, of course, when I eventually do that one, it's not going to be just a voice, because it can't be just a voice. I've got to be wobbling right along with that.
Does Chuck E. Cheese have a voice?
I don't know what he sounds like nowadays, but I do remember that back in the day, back in the 90s, he sounded a bit kind of like this. Sort of like what Cool Cat might sound like if he finally got off his cold. So, yeah, Chuck E. Cheese had a voice. Don't know what he's like nowadays. God, I'm old.
Okay, Black Hood, which Joker do you want? There are many.
Yes. And we have one more to add to the roster, one who just won a Golden Globe.
Best actor, yay, Joker.
Whew.
Yay, Joaquin Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Well deserved, sir. Well deserved.
Very much so. How about another joke, Mireille?
YouTube, quit being a prude. Already know for review Soup Nazi.
Oh my God.
And Ahmed the Dead Terrorist.
I'm afraid to ask which one it's censored.
Those are the two it's censored. Soup Nazi and Ahmed the Dead Terrorist. I had to approve it.
Oh, were they two separate comments?
Yes.
YouTube, come on.
Yeah, really, lighten up.
I'm sorry, but aren't we supposed to be against these things? If we... How do we say that we don't like them? How do we fight them if we're not allowed to say them? Hey, you, stop being such a neo... I'm sorry, I'm trying to protest this neo... No... Come on. What?
Just to establish, nothing from Channel Awesome, nothing from SpongeBob, no anime voices. He doesn't know them anyway.
Sorry, I don't.
And when you're making your voice suggestions, make one voice, suggest a voice. You can suggest multiple voices, but don't suggest the same voice over and over and over and over and over again. Give us some time to get to it, because as you can imagine, I've already got half a page written down.
Oh dear.
And a lot of them I have never heard of. So
really, like what?
Soup Nazi. That was one that I've never heard of.
Oh, you don't know the Soup Nazi?
Don't do the voices yet.
Oh no, just saying. But you do know.
How is everyone doing this morning?
Everyone is doing great.
No, Sean Marcy. Don't remember to spell check, because it's hilarious when you don't. I like Booby Wobbly.
Booby Wobbly,
that
yes.
made my morning already.
Hey, Booby Wobbly's awesome. What are you talking about? Since I got a couple of notifications here, better make sure that I'm on silent. There we go. Yeah, thank you, Fedora.
Aw. We miss Fedora.
Yeah, we do. He retired too early. So So how many voices we got now?
I'm writing.
Writing.
That's a good one. Always a classic.
Not gonna ask what it is. Be
I'm
surprised.
not gonna tell you anyway, even if you did. I don't know a lot of these. Better not be anime, guys.
Well, let's see if I know them.
You are much more likely to know them than me. Scribble. Also, don't get offended if he doesn't do your voice or whatever, if he passes on it. Just suggest another one. There's plenty of Bobsheaux to go around.
Oh, yes.
Oh, Tom. You know they're going to request that. You can't do a sponsored post to request not Gilbert Gottfried, unfortunately. Thank you for trying. But
oh, he cares that much.
let us know which one of your voices that you definitely want done for that sponsored post. I don't want you to waste your...
Yes, that's a good idea. Let's do that.
But you know they're going to do that.
And you're such a trooper. You know they're going to ask for it, and we have to do it. It's even funnier when they ask for the actor's voice and then the voice of one of the characters they do.
And they get me with that all the time.
They do.
One time someone suggested a silent movie actor. I don't know these people.
Yes, I think it was Lon Chaney. That was good.
I'm glad you and your mom are doing well, Claire. And that's right, Nikki. This is Bobsheaux. Channel who?
What's up with Claire and her mom?
The Pee-wee video triggered a conversation about Pee-wee's past infractions in the movie theater.
Mm.
And they talked about it, and this other, if I remember correctly, Claire was having another issue with her mom before, but they're doing well now. So.
Oh, good. Glad to hear it. A cherry squeaky.
Oil it.
Squeaky dance.
Just another couple minutes and we'll get started.
While we are waiting, I will entertain the audience with Raven's sad dance.
And that is not, I don't know what he's talking about. I have no knowledge. I deny everything.
I have to share the story now. You understand?
Aw, Dashy, the white YouTube poop productions, I guess that is the YTP.
YTP, yes, that's YouTube.
Yeah,
poop.
Dashy, the YTP production says, "Thank you so much for being a massive inspiration to me."
You're welcome. I've inspired poop. Yay! But yeah, sad dance story time. I can't remember what it was, but there was something that really had me down one day. And usually...
Which is unusual. Which is unusual for you.
Yes. Although it is not unusual that I'll be feeling bad about something or other. And Raven is usually very, very good at perking me up and putting me back on my feet. Hey, you shouldn't feel bad about this because you got this and this other stuff and all that, right? Yeah, that's true. You got a point. And I love you. Oh, yes, that's always a very good point. Thank you, baby. Mwah, mwah. Everything's good. Again, I can't remember what it was that got me so down this time around, and that is not the point. What is the point is that Raven, who again is usually so good at making me feel better, make me happy again, she was at a total loss for words. She couldn't figure out what to do. So, from out of nowhere, she just does this weird little hula thing. And it just popped the hell out of nowhere. And
he busted up laughing.
And Raven,
sadness over.
And Raven, who is not silly, she will kill you if you accuse her of being silly.
Don't insult me like that.
Do not insult her like
that.
YouTube
censor Gomez Adams.
Huh?
Yeah.
Gomez Adams? Is YouTube offended? Is YouTube offended by Mexican things?
I don't know.
That's...
Oh, someone suggested Geralt of Rivia. Oh. Bobsheaux has not watched The Witcher. I have.
No. No, I'm sorry. I'm suddenly seeing The Witcher memes on Facebook, and I am just turning my head and going, what?
I'll educate him later, I promise.
Do you need a smoke?
Toss a coin to your witcher. It's a song. Yeah. My kids and I are obsessed and so sad that we had to wait till 2020.
2020? That is a long time.
Sorry, my record got stuck. 2021 for the next season.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah.
Again, no idea what it is, but that sucks. Sorry, baby.
It is a TV show that's on Netflix, Hulu, Prime, Amazon Prime. I can't remember. One of them.
Too many streams.
That's based on a very, very popular video game. Okay, I think we got enough to get started.
I was with it once, and then they changed what it was. Then it became strange and confusing. And it'll happen to you!
We have a huge variety, man. Oh, he doesn't do video games, so he doesn't know Cicero from Skyrim. Sorry.
No, the only video game voices I know are Mario and Luigi. Maybe some other exceptions that aren't coming to mind right now, but you know.
Okay, so what we're doing? We're doing 5-minute Disney stories and something else, weren't we?
Yes, the books that we're advertising are 5-minute classic Disney stories and the Nutcracker and Other Christmas Tales.
Do you know which of the 5-minute Disney stories you've done before?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good, because we didn't get a chance to talk about that. It's been a crazy week, guys.
It's been a rough couple of weeks, everyone. Ever since I killed those 3 Wall Street guys. Okay, waiting for the punchline. There is no punchline. It's not a joke. Okay, moving on.
Okay. E. Garcia, there's no way I'm going to attempt to do that stupid voice. It's not happening. No, it's bad enough I gotta have to hear Rob do it.
What voice?
Gilbert Godfrey.
Oh.
That's just me.
Oh.
That's like making me go cut my own switch. I'm not doing it.
But it'd be funny.
Shut your face.
Shall we get that out of the way with Gilbert Godfrey?
We're not starting with that.
No. What are we starting with then?
We are starting with Booby Wobbly.
Booby Wobbly.
Booby Wobbly. What are we reading?
We are beginning with The Lion King, A Prince's Day. It was early morning at Pride Rock. Simba and Nala couldn't wait to go out and play. Let's go down to the river, Nala said loudly. Shh, Simba whispered. We have to be quiet or Zazu will hear us. But it was too late. Zazu had been on the lookout for the young prince. Ah, there you are, Simba. Do you like bubbles? Zazu said, landing in front of Simba. Come along. We have a busy day of training ahead of us. Ooh-wee. Next.
I love him. Sad. That's what Carrie Elwes has become. Drop kick from Bumblebee.
Pass.
Chuck E. Cheese.
But Nala and I were about to go down to the river, Simba complained. Nonsense, Zazu said. As a prince, you have certain responsibilities, young sire, and we can't keep them waiting. Bye, Simba, Nala said. Have fun at Prince School.
Oh, God, Prince School. We're in Alpha and Omega territory now.
Maybe we can go to the river tomorrow. Not if Zazu has anything to say about it, Simba grumbled, watching as Nala bounded away.
Next.
Next is Alistair the Radio Demon.
Pass.
Okay. Brent. You know which Brent that is.
To all the Brents in the world, I am sorry.
Zazu led Simba down to the watering hole where the animals of the Pride Lands were taking turns drinking water. There was a little stream that flowed into a river. Part of a ruler's responsibilities is solving disputes between his subjects. A perfect example is the watering hole. Each animal needs to have a turn to drink, Zazu explained. See that herd of antelopes? They have been there too long. It's the rhino's turn. You there, the bird said, yelling at the antelopes.
Aren't the rhinos just gonna say, hey, move it, and then off they go?
Guys, no Skyrim voices. I don't even know these voices, and I played for a while. So.
Sorry.
Raven doesn't do voices.
Oh, she does voices.
I don't do voice impressions. I do my own voice. Thank you.
Oh, goodness. Here's something weird. We have Zazu standing on top of the water. Zazu is the second coming.
Yes.
Next voice, which isn't Skyrim.
Which isn't Skyrim. Shaggy.
Like, Simba listened for what felt like hours as Zazu talked on and on to the antelopes, man. Finally, the lion cub saw a chance to escape. A herd of giraffes was leaving the watering hole. If he could sneak out with them, he might still have time to play with Nala.
Next.
My favorite Shaggy.
Zoinks!
Soup Nazi.
Just when Simba thought he had gotten away, Zazu landed in front of him. And where do you think you're going? Zazu demanded. Come on, Zazu. We've been at the watering hole for hours. Can't I go play with Nala? Simba asked. But Zazu refused to let him go. A prince's job is never done, he insisted. Onward to our next stop. No soup for you. Next.
Next is Olaf from Frozen.
Oh, boy.
Hey, I love Josh Gad.
I know, everyone loves Josh Gad.
Josh Gad is lovable. You shut your face.
Zazu led Simba back to Pride Rock, where Mufasa was listening to his subjects' concerns. A king must listen to all the other animals, Zazu explained. You can learn a lot from your father.
Yeah, father's dead.
Ouch.
Next.
Orson Welles. Quite a variety, I'm telling you. These guys are on fire today.
And from a Just Gad to Orson Welles. Holy crap, excuse me. Simba tried to pay attention. He listened as Mufasa advised the elephants to find new grazing grounds. He listened to the zebras worried about the upcoming rainy season. But soon the lion cub was just as bored as he had been at the watering hole. He started to fall asleep. Do you really mean that? I mean, he's bored, so he just falls asleep. He doesn't want to try to go off to play with Nala again. What? Yes, always. I'm always past that. There's a lot of shit, you know that. Next. Click.
Hang on, sorry. Had one of those rare assholes in the stream. Thanks, Josh. Tim Curry. Not Pennywise. Because that's later.
Yes, there's a difference.
Non-Pennywise Tim Curry.
Young sire, Zazu yelled, angrily pecking Simba awake. Were you paying attention at all? Simba yawned, shaking himself awake. He looked around. The other animals were gone. Mufasa had finished for the day. I've heard some of it, Simba replied. Frustrated, Zazu flew up into the air. Come along, Simba, we aren't finished yet, Zazu said. And yeah, Simba would be tired from that, but look at those spots over his head. He's on something.
Oh my goodness. I have lost my place, guys. I'm sorry.
Amateur!
Between having to kick somebody who decided they wanted to be a jerk out of the channel and you guys just really throw in those voices, I may have missed some. So give us a few minutes to get through the page and a half that I have.
Yes, let's not be jerks, please.
And then you can start making suggestions if you didn't get your voice. So, okay. So that was Tim Curry. Now a classic, Tommy Wiseau.
Simba slowly followed as the bird led them away from Pride Rock. Soon they were walking past the river where Simba and Nala had planned to play that day. Simba looked for his friend, but he didn't see her. Suddenly, Simba heard a yell. Did you hear that, Zazu? He asked. Hear what, Simba? Zazu said. There was another yell. That, Simba said, running toward the river. Zazu flew after him. What a funny story, Zazu. Next.
I love your Tommy Wiseau voice.
And Tommy Wiseau loves you. Because if everybody loved each other, the world would be a better place to live.
Roger Rabbit.
It was Nala! She had fallen into the fast-moving river and couldn't get out! Hurry! Go get my father! Please! Simba ordered Zazu. The bird flew away in search of Mufasa, but Simba knew there wasn't time to wait. Nala needed him now! Oh my!
I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way. I'm sorry. That's the one voice that I kind of do because I have had many Jessica Rabbit comparisons.
And you will hear no complaints from me.
Patrick Warburton, Kronk.
Oh, Jesus.
I love him.
Simba looked everywhere for a way to get his best friend. Finally, he saw a long tree branch on the shore of the river. Noah, grab on! Simba yelled. He grabbed the tree branch in his mouth and moved it over the river. Nala reached out and grabbed the branch just in time. Yeah! Simba pulled the branch back and dragged Nala out of the river. She was safe! Was she? Because it looks like she missed. Uh-oh. Next.
Sorry, Quentin. I don't think he's seen much of the Avatar: The Last Airbender. I know who Uncle Iroh is, but
no, sorry.
He doesn't know the voice. I'm sorry. All the anime stuff that you guys want to suggest, hold off. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yes.
Because big surprise coming.
You have no idea. He said while reading a Lion King story.
All right, so I don't know this one. Terminator Littlefoot? I don't know what that means.
It sounds like a reference to that one time I did a Terminator impression for one of the Land Before Time movies, where Littlefoot, in a rather out of character, badass moment, says, "I know how," and then I make him up to look like the Terminator. But as I'm doing that, I just make him sound like Arnold. I know how, because I'm the Terminator.
Okay, just do that.
And I will just do the Terminator for this next voice.
Shout out to Chaotic Neutral and Tom Allen for your Tommy Wiseau references. Oh, hi, Simba, and you're tearing me apart, Simba. You guys win the internet.
Oh, hi, Simba. How's your sex life?
Oh, God. No.
Can you feel the love tonight?
Oh, that song playing over the scene in the room. No.
Which one?
Belly button humping scene. I have
Yeah.
to my eyes to make this a successful movie.
Yeah, which one? Do you not remember that there are multiple love scenes in that movie?
the one in the bed.
Let's see. There was belly button sex. There was the awkward spiral staircase sex. There was the guy with his girlfriend going down on him while he's making really weird, awkward faces like a 5-year-old.
While eating chocolate. I was thinking of the awkward belly button sex scene.
The first one that kind of kicked everything off. Gotcha.
Yeah, kicked everything off, definitely.
Can you see my ass tonight?
You had to show his ass to make that a successful movie.
It's artistic. You have to see my ass or it won't look deep. The movie, not my ass.
Okay, I'm stopping now. Sorry. But anyway, we are returning to the story with Terminator.
You guys don't mind the off roads we go on when we do these things.
Oh, they love it. That's what they're tuning in for.
Simba got Nala. Relieved, Mufasa and Zazu gathered the cubs and started back to Pride Rock. Zazu, Nala, can you give me a moment with Simba? Mufasa asked. Simba was worried. Was Mufasa angry at him for not paying attention to Zazu? Zazu told me about your dai. I know that you want to play with your friend, but Zazu was trying to teach you important lessons about what it means to be king.
Next.
Nice. Oh, did you put this out on social media that this was going on?
I did.
Okay.
I socially mediated it all by myself.
I'm so proud. Cool cat.
Jesus. There's always freaking cool cat.
Always cool cat.
What did you learn at the watering hole? Mufasa asked. That the rhinos followed the antelopes? Simba replied. Mufasa laughed. Ha 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 ha! No, that you had to be fair as a ruler and make sure all your subjects are treated equally. And I love treating people equally, he said. And Zazu brought you to Pride Rock to show you that a leader must be wise as well. But the last lesson you taught yourself. I did, Simba asked.
Final story for this, or a final voice for this story?
That would be Tim Curry's Pennywise.
Yes, my son. You rescued Nala and showed that a ruler must be brave. I am very proud of you, Simba. Aha! 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 Simba smiled up at his father. Now, Mufasa said, I think there may be just enough time for you and Nala to play before dinner. Simba smiled and bounded off to find Nala. He'll make a good king someday, sire, Zazu said, landing on Mufasa's shoulder. Mufasa smiled. Yes, he will.
Nice.
Okay, we did the Winter Trail with Bambi, so we're skipping that one. Next story is Barking Up the Right Tree, Lady and the Tramp. First place for this one. She's giggling.
Would you mind terribly singing it as Tommy Wiseau?
Oh, God. What a day, Tramp said. No, seriously, that's the first word. It starts off with, what a day. So that's perfect. Thank you. What a day, Tramp said, leaning out the window into the garden. Come on, what are we waiting for? Let's go outside and do something fun. He called to Lady. I don't know what I'm singing, but there you go. Lady jumped up from her cozy cushion and happily padded toward the doggy door. Why don't we play hide and seek? She suggested. What a swell idea, said Tramp. Last one outside is it. Next.
The Creeper.
Pass.
Rooton.
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 Pass.
Okay. Beast Wars Megatron.
A few minutes later, Tramp was busy counting. 7, 8, 9, 10. Ready or not, here I come. Yes. Tramp opened up his eyes and quickly scanned the garden. He looked right. He looked left. He looked up and down. Finally, he saw them. 2 dainty pale brown paws peeking out from beneath the flowers. Gotcha, Tramp said, playfully pouncing paws first into the flowers. Meow! Hey, Tramp tried, Tramp cried. The next thing he knew, a blur of soft brown and white fur was hurtling past him. Startled, he fell into a rose bush. What was that? Lady gasped, jumping out from behind the doghouse where she'd been hiding. What was that? Was apparently this adorable little kitten. Aw, don't you love her?
Aww.
She's just adorable. Yes. Next.
Goofy.
Tramp pointed to the thick trunk of the shady old elm tree. A fluffy brown and white kitten was racing straight up to the nearest branch. Oh, poor thing, Lady cooed. You must have scared her, Tramp. Scared her, Tramp frowned, shaking the thorns out of his tail. More like she scared me. Oh, Tramp, said Lady teasingly. Don't tell me a little kitten scared you. It's all right, she called up to the kitten. Tramp was only playing. We're sorry you're frightened. Trust me, we'd never hurt you. It's perfectly safe to come back down. The kitten peered down from her branch, looking scared. Oh, won't you please come down? Lady urged her, but the kitten didn't move. Oh, no. Next.
Next voice is Porky Pig.
Shucks. Let me talk to her, said Tramp, stretching up to the rest of his front paws against the tree. Here, kitty, coming down. I'm sorry, we can't. I know I can't seem a little big and scary, but really, we were just playing a game of hide and seek. At last, the kitten moved, but only to tiptoe further along the branch. Looks like she's happy up there, Tramp said. She said, shrugging. Or stuck, said Lady. Oh, Tramp, you have to help get her down. Next.
Robbie Rotten. Are you familiar with Robbie Rotten?
Mm-mm.
I didn't think so. Okay. Kermit.
Tramp didn't have much interest in helping the kitten out of the tree, but he would do anything for Lady. And Lady had a plan. A plan that seemed like it just might work if he helped her. You stand there next to the tree and let me climb on your back, Lady told Tramp. Then maybe if I stretch as far as I can reach that kitten and help her down. Yeah, dogs climbing trees. This ought to be rich. Next.
Rat Trap.
Yes, it's so happy.
I'm sorry, I was talking to myself. I said, yeah, I wrote that twice.
Yeah, as it so happened, at that very moment, Jack was strolling by the garden and decided to drop in. Well, I must say, this is a grand sight, he exclaimed as he spied a Tramp and Lady. You certainly don't see something like this every day now, do you? Would this be a new trick Darling and Jim Dear taught you? Next.
Optimus Primal.
Oh no, it's no trick, Lady told Jock. She explained that she and Tramp were trying to help the kitten down from the tree. Unfortunately, I can't get high enough. Why don't you just use your prime jets? Aye, I can see that, lass, Jock replied. Yes, the otherwise Canadian voice actor for Optimus Primal saying, aye, I can see that, lass. Maybe if you climbed up and stood on me, lady began. Say no more, Jock gallantly told her. As ever, my lady, I am at your service. Yeah, this plan isn't working. Look at where they are compared to where the cat is. Key's stuck up there. Next voice.
The next voice on this extensive list is, pardon me, Angel Dust.
I think that must be another voice from Has Been Hotel, which I've only seen once. Gotta watch that again. Don't know it. Move on.
Oh goodness, I can't read my own handwriting.
That's annoying.
Simon Peggy.
Simon Pegg?
Maybe.
I don't know him. Next.
Okay, I'm sorry. I wrote it so I scribbled it so hard. Okay. Sylvester the cat.
Actually, hang on a second.
What are you doing?
I need to look up to see if maybe I do know Simon Pegg. Let's see. I don't know. Never mind. Don't worry about it. What was the next one?
The next one is Sylvester the cat.
Sylvester the cat. That's right. A few minutes later, a trustee wandered from over his front porch. Well, I do declare, he said, even more surprised than Jock had been. Miss Lady, what in the world are you and Jock doing up there? Lady explained the situation. I see, Trusty said. Unfortunately, sighed Lady, I still can't reach the kitten. But maybe if you helped us, Trusty. Why, Miss Lady, Trusty replied. What kind of gentleman would I be if I didn't oblige such a request? Was that a yes or a no? Tramp asked. I can't tell. I believe that would be an aye, said Jock. All right then, let's do this thing, Tramp said. Next one.
Mickey Mouse.
Carefully, everyone climbed down. Then Tramp climbed onto Trusty's back, and Liddy and Jock climbed back into place. Can you reach the branch now, Jock? Liddy called out to him. Aye, said Jock, wagging his tail. Ow, howled Trusty, so happy that he didn't notice the butterfly landing on his nose. Until it was too late. Uh-oh.
Mickey howling was very funny.
Ow! Next.
Next is Duncan Brennan.
Pass.
Okay. Phalus.
I feel so bad about doing this one.
Why? That voice has helped make him famous.
I guess. Suddenly, Trusty's howl turned into a howling sneeze. Before he knew it, the hard-fought tower had collapsed into a furry 12-legged pile. 12 legs? Lady counted again. Shouldn't there be 16 legs, she thought. Where's Jock, she asked. Up here, lassie. Lady looked up along with Tramp and Trusty to see Jock dangling by his front paws from the branch. I don't suppose you could get back up here in a hurry, Jock called down as calmly as he could. I'm having a wee bit of trouble holding on.
Yeah, Phalus, Linkara, those guys are no longer associated with Channel Awesome, therefore they are free game and all okay.
Oh boy.
But we will not be doing the snob. I don't think Rob watches him anymore. I no longer watch him.
Sometimes I'll watch some of his classic stuff, but really hard to watch him nowadays, right?
Very. I don't. I refuse. I refuse to support that. Okay, anyway, moving on to happier stuff. That was a good Phalus. Frosty the Snowman.
Good Frosty or stupid Frosty?
Give us a little of both.
Okay, stupid Frosty. Duh! I'm Frosty the Snowman! Mr. Foggerbaki, you know how to do a good Frosty. Why did you have to suck so badly at that? Okay, Frosty. Quickly, the dogs reformed their tower. At the bottom, Trusty kept an eye out for any butterflies, determined to hold his ground this time. At the top, Jock regained his Jock regained his footing on Lady's shoulders. Here, kitty, kitty, he said gently. Here. Is something wrong? Lady asked, when Jock suddenly stopped. Aye, Jock answered, looking up and down the branch. There's one wee problem, I'm afraid. The kitten was not on the branch anymore. In fact, the kitten wasn't even in the tree. Why, I do declare, Trusty exclaimed, looking down. If that little old kitten ain't a rubbing my back leg. Ooh.
Okay.
Aye, so she is, Jock said. You gotta be kidding me, Tramp groaned. I love how Tramp wants nothing to do with this.
Tramp is smart.
Yeah, just look at this face here. He is so done. Really? Really? Final voice for the story?
That would be Flipper the Dolphin. I even wrote it down. Never mind. Mario.
I just love happy endings, don't you? A lady asked when everyone was back on the ground. Jock and Trusty agreed. Yeah, we're okay, I guess, Tramp said as the kitten looked, took a turn around his leg. But you know what I like even better? What, lady asked? Playing hide and seek. Hey, kitten, you're it. Oh, and look at that. This little kitten was a pain throughout the whole story, but I love you, Tramp. Meow. The next.
So adorable.
Yes.
Is this a new story?
Yes, next story. The Jungle Book. It Takes Two. First voice for this one.
Shamu?
Guys, you do know that Flipper and Shamu can't talk, right?
I didn't know if there was a cartoon that I didn't know about. Or...
Well, now that you mention that does seem very plausible. Never mind, forget what I said. I simply don't know Flipper and Shamu. Let's move on.
Okay.
Uh-oh. What is it?
You know what it is.
No, I don't.
Iago. See you guys later. I'm out of here.
No, don't leave us. This is the funny part. We did it, Mowgli Howard!
Oh my god.
He just escaped from King Louie and the apes with his friends Baloo and Bagheera. It sure was a swinging good time, Baloo said. Bagheera was less enthusiastic. Next time, we need to stick to the plan. We're lucky to be alive! And aren't you lucky that was a short paragraph? But then again, this other one's kind of short, too.
No! You've done enough of that. I'm skipping ahead. Captain Jack Sparrow. He sucks.
We need to find a safe place for the night, Bagheera said. King Louie may still be after Mowgli. Loosen up. I can protect us. If we see any of those mangy monkeys, I'll jab with my left, and I'll swing with my right. Oh, Baloo, we need to protect the boy. Think about it, Bagheera said.
That's better.
And next on to Pee-wee Herman.
Someone suggested a voice. I don't know if we'll get to it because it was pretty far down, but suggested a voice that I absolutely hate that you have forgotten for a while.
I was going to say, that I know there are four. There's Gilbert Gottfried, there's Pee-wee Herman, there's Donald Trump, and what's the fourth? I forget.
The one that they suggested.
And what is it?
It's too soon to do it. No, you just did Gilbert Godfrey. Do Luigi.
Yes, it is too soon to do another one of those voices, but I would like to know.
Bobcat Goldthwait.
Oh, God, Bobcat Goldthwait. I forgot about him, and that's embarrassing. I'm sorry, Mr.
I am happy you forgot about him. Continue to forget about him.
But Luigi? Okay.
Yeah.
Mowgli sighed. He didn't need protecting. Why, with his brawn, he could fight like a bear, and with his brains, he could plan like a panther. If only they give him the chance. Then Mowgli heard something. There was a rustling around above his head in the trees. Mowgli giggled as a flying squirrel glided above him and landed on a branch. I want to try that, he shouted. Mowgli climbed a tree and grabbed the vine, but try as he might, he just kept crashing onto the ground. I'm a Luigi. No.
Haha, you suck. Next.
Stitch.
Finally, Mowgli got the hang of it. He felt like he was flying.
Oh my god, that's so good. I've never heard you do Stitch before.
Pretty sure he did.
I love Stitch.
Oh. He and the squirrel swept over the heads of Bagheera and Baloo. Mowgli was having the time of his life, but soon his stomach started grumbling. There are some bananas, he told the squirrel, pointing across the river. Let's race.
I think there are any vines that are going to cross the river there, Mowgli. And uh-oh. Not only are there bananas across the river, but there's Kaa at the bottom. Oh no, he's going to get him. Next.
Next is the Candyman.
Pass.
Like I said, a lot of them were thrown out here. I have no idea. I just write them down.
But we're getting most of them.
Superintendent Chalmers?
Superintendent Chalmers from The Simpsons.
Okay. Yeah, I don't watch The Simpsons, so I don't know those characters.
There was just one problem. Mowgli and his new friend didn't know how to cross the river. Mowgli looked at the vine he was holding and got an idea. Let's swing, Mowgli said. And on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, Mowgli swung across the river, but his hand slipped and he fell into the water. Kaa the snake had been watching Mowgli. This was his chance to get the man cub named Skinner! Next.
What does that mean? Why did you just yell Skinner?
Because every time he's introduced in any scene in any episode, it's because he's protesting something stupid that Principal Skinner has done.
Gotcha.
Skinner with his crazy explanations. The superintendent's gonna need his medication. When he hears Skinner's lame exaggerations, there'll be trouble in town tonight. Seymour!
And they're writing Skinner and Seymour and all that.
Aurora Borealis. At this time of day, at this time of year, in this part of the country, localized entirely within your kitchen. Yes. May I see it? No.
And something about steamed hams?
Steamed hams.
Okay, I don't know any of these references. I'm so lost.
Well, then maybe you should stop texting and pick up a book sometime.
God, I love that. Next.
Next is... Oh, goodness. Herbert the Pervert.
Kaa slithered down from a tree. Trust in me, he told Mowgli. Just... It's so perfect.
Couldn't have planned that better.
And pee.
No, shut up. I am not.
Shut your eyes and trust in me.
Oh my god.
Just slide into my coils.
Mowgli and the squirrel grabbed onto Kaa, who pulled them up into the tree with him. Oh, look, a squirrel, Kaa hissed. The squirrel's eyes focused on Kaa. Soon he had fallen under Kaa's spell. Using his brain, Mowgli realized that if he didn't look into Kaa's eyes, the snake could not make him go to sleep. And using his brawn, Mowgli wrapped Kaa's tail around a stone and dropped it. The snake fell from the tree. Some thanks I get, Kaa muttered. That man cub done good and broke my sternum. Hmm. 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 Hmm.
Oh my god. What are you doing now?
Just finishing the bit.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Do you need a minute?
Paul Lind.
Betham's right down the hall.
I do not need to use the restroom. Would you shut up?
Paul Lind. Paul Lind. Was he Uncle Arthur
I don't
from
know.
Bewitched?
I am not the one to ask. Guys, was he Uncle Arthur?
I think he was.
Raven, I almost fell out of my chair too. That was hilarious.
You're welcome. Mowgli, little britches. Bagheera and Baloo stood across the river shouting. They've been worried about Mowgli. I'm over here, Mowgli.
I know who he is.
Say what?
I didn't know his name, but I know who he is.
You don't know who he is. I'm over here, Mowgli hollered. I used my brains and my brawn to save. What? We can't hear you, said Baloo. Next. Again, bathroom's right down the hall if you need it.
Shut up! Maybe choke on my breakfast. Hawk moth.
Hawk moth?
Hawk moth.
Pass.
Okay. Willy Wonka, 1 and 2, please.
Mowgli turned to look at his new friend. Maybe for teaching me how to... or thanks for teaching me how to glide. I hope we meet again, he said. Maybe next time I'll be gliding with... without the vine. The squirrel chittered as Mowgli... I can't speak. The squirrel chittered at Mowgli and then flew away, high above the ground. Mowgli said, watching the squirrel take flight. Maybe that's not such a good idea after all. Yeah, well,
After all that, you probably should get some water and consciously relax your voice, your throat muscles a bit.
And we have 2 voices left on the story. What are they going to be?
You didn't do the other Willy Wonka.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was writing. All right.
Start with Gene Wilder, ended on Depp.
Got it. Here's one that I've never heard you have requested before, and I don't know if you can do him, but we love him, so you should try. Bambi Man.
Mowgli made his way downriver past the waterfalls. On the other side of the river, Bagheera and Baloo followed him. When he reached the path of calm river, Mowgli swung and swam to his friends. Mowgli threw himself into Baloo's arms. He had a fun adventure, but he was glad to be back with his friends.
That was good.
Was it?
We love you, Brandon.
We do.
You can improve it later on, but that was a good first try.
Final voice for the story.
Megatron.
That night, as Mowgli drifted off to sleep, he heard his friends still arguing. He used brains. He didn't look into Kaa's eyes, Bagheera said. It was brawn. He used a big rock to get rid of Kaa. It was a big rock.
Baloo argued. Mowgli smiled. He had used his brains and his brawn to save himself and his new friend today. The end, miserable earth germs. Moving on to our next story, Pinocchio, a real boy. First voice for this one.
One moment.
One moment.
Yes, I was making sure that I heard a notification of so. Oh, that's a good one. Okay. Sponsored post in honor of Carol Spinney, Big Bird.
Oh, jeez.
You better do it right.
No pressure.
No pressure.
The sun was just beginning to rise over Pinocchio's little village. The moment he awoke, Pinocchio leaped out of bed and ran to look at himself in the mirror. He laughed with joy when he saw his reflection. It hadn't been a dream. The blue fairy had made him a real boy. Pinocchio lost track of the minutes as he stared at his reflection. He might have stood there all day if he hadn't smelled a wonderful scent coming from the kitchen.
Was that too terrible?
That was pretty good, I thought.
I'm sorry, Mr. Spinney.
Rest in peace. Next phrase. Okay. That got sad. Groot.
I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. Okay, next one. Not doing that for a whole freaking paragraph.
No spamming. I have that written down. Yeah, Mr. Critical, that they're talking about NC from the Nutcracker. We can do that one. But when I get there, spamming is not going to get me there faster. Heavy weapons guy.
Sorry, pass.
Okay. Soundwave.
As he sniffed the air, Pinocchio felt a strange sensation. His mouth began to water. Is this what being hungry feels like? He wondered. Next.
Getting all the Sesame Street requests now.
Oh, Lord.
It's going to be a while before we get there. There's a lot. Well, here's always a good one. Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice.
Pinocchio put on his clothes and ran to the kitchen. There he saw his father Geppetto cooking a huge breakfast. There were eggs and pancakes and bacon and sausage and oatmeal and orange juice and toast and milk and muffins and... Okay, enough already! Pinocchio stopped it, trying to name everything on the table. Geppetto grinned when he saw Pinocchio. I wanted to cook you something special for your first breakfast, but I couldn't decide what to make, he said. So I made everything!
Half a second, I'm warming my coffee.
Uh-oh.
We got cold because I was writing.
And laughing.
Duke of Wesselton?
Pass.
Spock. Nimoy Spock, please.
There's only one Spock.
Well, now I'm a Trekkie. Okay?
Yes.
I love Leonard Nimoy.
Mm-hmm.
But
there is a soft spot on your heart for what's his name? Quentin
Tarantino. Not Quentin Tarantino.
No.
Zachary
Quinto, that's it.
Yeah, yes. And he's pretty.
But I can't roll my eyes at that, can I? Because you think I look like him.
You do. I think that's the celebrity that you look the most like.
I don't see it, but whatever. You don't think that you look like crap, what's her name? I lost it. Phoenix from the X-Men movies. What was her name?
I can't remember her name either.
It's a weird one, but her. Yeah, you don't think you look like her, but that's where I am. Anyway. Pinocchio's stomach rumbled as he looked at all the food. Well, come on, Geppetto said. Dig in. Pinocchio sat down and tried a bite of eggs. It's fluffy, he said, his mouth full, and soft, and logical. No, delicious, he said. Pinocchio tried a little bit of all the food Geppetto had made. Every bite tasted different from the last. Fascinating, Father. Next.
We miss you, Mr. Nimoy.
Yes, we do. We miss you, Galvatron.
Yeah. Loki? I don't remember you ever doing Loki.
Pass.
That's probably why I remember you don't remember you doing it. Yoda. Oh, by the way, just for future reference, first of all, he was asking about the actress that plays Jean Grey. Yes, we know that the Phoenix is Jean Grey.
Yes.
Second of all, he has not seen The Mandalorian.
No, I have not. I gotta get Disney Plus.
Yes, because I have Netflix, I have Hulu, I have Amazon Prime. It's his turn. I ain't subscribing to nothing else. We'll share a Disney Plus.
Yes, we will.
All right, carry on.
Wonderful this is, Pinocchio said. All day long can we eat? Oh no, Geppetto laughed. Too busy will be much for that. I have so much more to show you. Okay. Take the food with us, can we? Pinocchio asked. An excellent idea that is, Geppetto said. A picnic we'll have. Packed up a lunch, Geppetto did, and he and Pinocchio led to explore the village.
Thank God that was a short one. I couldn't do that.
Jansen. Famke Janssen.
Famke Janssen, that's it.
I do not see it.
I'm sorry you don't
Rob
see it,
thinks
but
I look like Famke Janssen.
that's what I see. Yeah, Famke Janssen and Zachary Quinto. There you go. Next voice.
Christopher Walken. One of my favorites.
I've got no strings to hold me down. Wow, that'd be a weird one. The first thing Pinocchio noticed was how brightly the sun shone. He blinked as he left the dark cottage and walked into the sunshine. Its dazzling beams felt warm on his skin. That must be very, very strange. He's noticing how brightly the sun shone, which I suppose would look different to a pair of human eyeballs than splotches of paint made to look like eyes. What did the sun look and feel like to Pinocchio when he was a puppet? This demands exploration. But anyway, back to the story. He quickly discovered that stepping into the long shadows of the buildings cooled him down again. Pinocchio and Geppetto made a game of running in and out of the shadows. Oh, wow, that's gonna look weird. Yes, there's that crazy old man Geppetto who suddenly has a little boy with him and he's hiding in the shadows suddenly. Make your own conclusions. When Pinocchio jumped through the last shadow, he felt a strange sensation in his stomach. It was different from hunger. It was hic. Pinocchio's tummy flip-flopped and a strange sound came from his throat. Wow. Next.
Next is Gomez Adams.
Oh, are we sure we're allowed to say that?
I don't know. Yes, we're allowed to say that.
What is going on? Pinocchio asked. He was starting to get scared. Don't worry, Geppetto said. It's just the hiccups. Hiccups, Pinocchio asked. Will they ever stop? Geppetto showed Pinocchio how to hold his breath until the hiccups went away. Pinocchio wasn't sure he liked this new experience. He had been so busy thinking about how much fun being a real boy was, he hadn't stopped to think about all the things that could go wrong. Yes, like mortality. Horrible, horrible mortality. Next.
I'm sorry, I don't read Greek.
Do Do we get a...
Run it through Google Translate. If you don't mind. I don't have time to do that, but we definitely like to take your voice suggestions, but I don't read Greek. It's
Sorry.
not, YouTube's not translating it automatically, so sorry. The next voice is
Eels?
Trix the Rabbit.
Pass.
Mark Hamill's Joker. Got a good one.
I feel like we should say this until after I do a bad one.
Okay. You want to do a bad Joker? Do it. I dare you. I dare you.
Well, the only bad Joker I have no practice with, but actually, I was just talking about another bad voice.
Oh. It's not time for that. It's on the list and we haven't gotten to it yet.
Okay.
But because you said you wanted to do a bad Joker, at least do his laugh.
I know that at least. There. I made it better with a good laugh.
So you're saying you want to save Mark Hamill's Joker for after you do that other horrible voice?
One of the other three voices, yes.
Okay. So I will circle it and we will come back to that, baby.
Just because I want to make it better. Because I know it hurts.
Oh no, it's not. He's not crazy. He's damaged. Blech.
How do you make the Joker look like he's trying too hard?
You let Jared Leto play him.
Ugh.
He will never play the Joker again.
Good.
And he's pissed about it. I can't imagine why sending used condoms and stuff to his fellow actors to get into character and stuff like that.
Dude, I'm sorry you had your heart set on it. Read the room. Nobody liked you. I'm sorry. Move on.
He should stick to singing.
Okay. If that's
He's
his
a good
thing.
singer. I like his singing voice. But unfortunately, now every time I look at him, I picture blingy teeth and damaged tattoos and ha 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 ha.
Anyway.
Harry Potter.
Pinocchio grew silent as he followed Geppetto. His mind was filled with questions, but he wasn't sure how to ask many of them. At first, the sun's warmth had felt nice, but now Pinocchio was hot and sweaty. His feet hurt, and his stomach felt as empty as it had that morning before breakfast. Wow, humanity's kind of a bitch, isn't it? Pinocchio finally asked the question he was most concerned about. Are we there yet? Geppetto took Pinocchio's hand. It's just over this hill. The pair climbed higher until they saw a beautiful valley below them. Yes, he's experiencing discomfort for the first time. He's hot. He's sweaty. He knows hunger. Ugh. He's gonna know fatigue very soon. See, most humans have the advantage of growing into it. We know how to cope with these kind of things for the most part. We know how to deal with it. But poor Pinocchio, his first day as a real boy is hell.
Official or not, Cameron, I don't know how to pronounce his last, Monaghan, was the freaking Joker.
He was the Joker.
You can call him Jerome.
Jeremiah.
You can call him anything you want to call him. He was the Joker. He was the Joker without makeup. He was the Joker without
he didn't have the makeup.
effects.
He didn't have the purple suit. He didn't have the crazy toys to play with. He didn't have the knives. He just had him. And him was all he needed. Oof.
That was powerful. Just watching him in Gotham become the Joker.
That
as he
first
sat at
episode,
that
oh my
fucking
God.
table.
He's he's sobbing over the reality that this weird, crazy old man is his actual father, and just.
Oh.
I'll wait for your adorable sneezing to be over.
Shut up! The perfectly normal sneeze.
Yes, they are perfectly normal. By incredibly cute standards.
Go ahead and do your little laser gun thing that you like to do. Hate you.
Step outside yourself. And just
No.
listen.
No.
You're laughing.
No, I'm laughing at something they said in the chat.
What they say.
I don't know.
Sure.
Just do the voices. Dance, monkey, dance.
Next voice.
Christopher Lee.
Because where would we be if not for that? Oh my god, I've been doing this for a year now. Race you to the swimming hole, Geppetto asked. Pinocchio nodded and ran off before Geppetto could get ready. Father and son ran down the hill and collapsed in a happy pile next to the lake's edge. Time for food, Pinocchio cheered. Yay.
Christopher Lee saying yay.
It's so incredibly joyous. Geppetto laughed and began unpacking the picnic basket.
Oh.
Next.
Huggins?
Oh, God. Let no one say that I don't love you. Like you said to of the Pee-wee review.
Huggins!
Geppetto and Pinocchio's... What?
What?
Just dawned on me who that was.
You forgot who Huggins is.
I've written down a lot of stuff.
Shame.
I've only had half a cup of coffee.
Geppetto and Pinocchio spent the rest of the day at the swimming hole, playing in the water and fishing on the bank and hugging! As they played, Geppetto told Pinocchio stories of the many times he had visited the lake as a young boy. Pinocchio felt much better now that he had eaten and rested. The cool water was refreshing after their long walk from the village. Even when Pinocchio scraped his knee on one of the willow trees, he didn't get upset. He was starting to realize what an exciting place the world was. And hugging!
I have a very awkward question here. Where did Geppetto get the little swimsuit for Pinocchio here? Why did he have that? I don't know.
I don't know why that's a question. That's the kind of swimsuit you had for your kids back then.
Yeah, but he didn't have kids before now. This is Pinocchio's first day. Do you just always have this on him? Why?
You are so gross.
Let's just not pay any attention to the last two syllables of his name, shall we? Moving on.
Stanley.
As the sun began to set, Pinocchio noticed a new feeling. His eyelids felt heavy, as though he could barely keep his eyes open. Then he yawned. I'm tired, Pinocchio said, surprised at the realization. You've had quite a big day, true believer. Are you ready to go home? Next voice.
That's a very good theory. Maybe it was his swimsuit from when Geppetto was a kid.
We'll hang on to that.
Okay. Bubba J.
Pinocchio down and Geppetto lifted him onto his shoulders. He carried Pinocchio toward the house, in the little village. I can't read none. Sitting on Geppetto's back, Pinocchio looked up into the night sky. Far above them shone the wishing star, twinkling brightly. Hello, wishing star! Pinocchio realized that being a real boy was more complicated than he imagined. Next voice.
Emperor Palpatine.
Today was fun, Father, Pinocchio said. But it was hard, too. Geppetto noticed. Geppetto nodded, thinking about what Pinocchio had said. That's what being alive is. It's sunlight and bacon and hiccups and scraped knees. Some of it will be scary, but I promise I'll be right there with you. Geppetto waited for Pinocchio to answer, but all he heard was the sound of soft snoring. Pinocchio was fast asleep. Geppetto laughed quietly. Enough speeches. It's time for you to get to bed. Unlimited power! Next.
Pinocchio shall join the dark side. So good, good. Let the hate flow through you, Pinocchio.
I'll never join you. You killed my father.
No, Pinocchio. I am your father. That's not true.
Okay, final voice.
Severus Snape.
Geppetto carried Pinocchio as gently as he could to bed. He fluffed each pillow and then drew the blankets close under Pinocchio's chin. Good night, my boy, Geppetto said, leaning in to kiss Pinocchio on the forehead. Today was a dream come true. I cannot wait to share another adventure with you tomorrow. Can't you just hear the anticipation in my voice? Let's see, moving on to our next story. Or what time is it?
It is 1:45. I
Quarter
think
to
maybe we
noon.
should move on to the other book.
Yeah, we've been in this one for quite a while.
Well, we didn't get started until really late.
True enough. But yes. Now let's take a crack at some Nutcracker and other stories. See what I did there?
No one wants to see what you did there.
Oh. We got a few Christmas poems to read here while we're still kind of on the tail end of the Christmas season here. Shall we read A Visit from St. Nicholas by Clement Clark Moore?
Yes.
Yes, we should do that, bro, because you're awesome.
Oh, thank you. Let's see. Page 308. And by the way, damn you, Barnes & Noble. These exclusive books are of yours are just gorgeous.
They really are.
They demand that you buy them. Move past A Christmas Carol here. And so as Tiny Tim observed, bloody bloody blue. And here we are. First voice for this one.
Jackson Storm.
Pass.
Groundskeeper Willie.
'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house, when the creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there.
That was good.
Thank you.
I don't know who Groundskeeper Willie is, but I like the voice.
It's another Simpsons character.
Ah, okay. Mr. Nobody from Doom Patrol.
Pass.
Tom Servo.
The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads, and Mamma in her kerchief, and I in my cap, had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap. But now on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Next.
One of the Munchkins from The Wizard of Oz.
Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave the lustre of midday to objects below, when what to my wondering eyes did appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer, with a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick. And that's my attempt at doing the mayor of Munchkinland.
That was good.
As mayor
I
of
thought
the
it was good.
Munchkin City, in the county of the land of Oz.
Now, for a complete 180, Lurch.
Yes, a wordy lurch, always weird. More rapid than eagles, his coursers they came. And he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donder and Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away, dash away, dash away.
Okay, now get you a sip of water. Because it's time.
Everybody hurts.
Makes sense.
I loved that. I'm sorry. I thought that was really cool.
What are you, Lurch?
Amazing.
Come with me, honey. No. No means no. Next voice. Yes.
Bobcat Goldthwait. Oh, my ears are gonna bleed.
As leaves that before the hurricane flies, when they meet with an obstacle mounted to the sky, so up to the housetop, of course, as they flew, there's safe for the toys and St. Nicholas too. And there's a twinkling, and I heard on the roof, prancing and pawing of each little hoof.
Mark Hamill's Joker, quick!
I love you.
No, you don't.
As I drew in my head and I was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack.
Next.
Scrooge McDuck.
His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and his beard was on his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke of it encircled his head like a wreath. Next.
Benedict Cumberbatch's The Grinch.
Ugh.
Don't yuck.
I'm yucking. He was pointlessly cast in that.
Don't yuck my yum.
Ew.
He had a broad face and a round little belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. That's not Benedict Cumberbatch. Why did they get this guy? He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk.
And wow, he really is a jolly old elf. This Santa's tiny.
Yeah.
Final voice for this.
Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Ba-dum, ba-dum. The French Guard from Monty Python.
And laying a finger aside of his nose and giving a nod up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim ere he drove out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all you silly English kniggets!"
Next.
If You're Good by James Courtney Chalice.
Let's have a round of the other Jokers to start this off with. Starting with Cesar Romero's Joker, please.
Santa Claus will come tonight, if you're good, and do what you know is right, as you should. Down the chimney he will creep, bringing you a woolly sheep, and a doll that goes to sleep, if you're good.
Jack Nicholson.
Santa Claus will drive his sleigh through the wood, but he'll come round this way, if you're good. With a wind-up bird that sings and a puzzle made of rings, jumping jacks and funny things, if you're good.
Ledger Joker.
He will bring you cars that go, if you're good. And a rocking horsey, oh, if he would. And a dolly, if you please, that says, "Mama, when you squeeze." He'll bring you one of these, if you're good.
Jerome Valeska.
Good one.
Oh, aka the Joker.
Yeah, good one to end with this last poem here. Santa grieves when you're bad, as he should, but it makes him very glad when you're good. He will rise, and he's a dear. Just do right and never fear. He'll remember you each year, if you're good.
Yes, and also Jeremiah. That was Jeremiah too. Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
He should have his own spin-off show. I
Oh,
swear.
God. That would be amazing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so should we do one more out of the Christmas thing and then move on to the surprise bonus story?
Yes. Let's see what we got here. What's a good one to end on? Yeah, weird rhyming scheme on that one here. Here we go. Okay.
Isn't it nice how we're always so professional and prepared for these things?
Always. An interrupted auction by Carolyn Wells. First place for this one?
Woody from Toy Story.
Pass.
Okay. Jafar.
Old Santa sat in his easy chair, and he furrowed his face, and his furrowed face wore a look of care. "It's just a shame," he was heard to exclaim. "I can stand it no longer, I declare. For 1900 years or so, I've done my best, as folks well know, to make the children happy and gay all over the world on Christmas Day, to give them just what they wanted or needed, and I thought until now I had always succeeded." Next.
Skippy from Madagascar.
Pass.
Twilight Sparkle.
Pass.
Mufasa.
Ooh, do it again.
City. Mufasa.
Ooh.
Mufasa.
It tingles me. Ugh. "But alas, I have not," the old man said, as he mournfully shook his hoary head. "Perhaps it's because I'm growing old, but my messengers, I've been told, Some children don't like the gifts I bring, that they even find fault. Ah, here's the sting. And worse than that, here his voice sank low, and his trembling old form shook with woe. They say, and it's this that makes me cross, that they don't believe in a Santa Claus. I should like to know, if that be so, who has filled their stockings each Christmas Eve with just the gifts they hope to receive. Next.
Lou Kim from South Park.
Oh, God.
I don't know who that is, but I wrote it down.
Ah, but such base and rude ingratitude makes kindness seem of no avail. I'd put my business up for sale, a public auction, for I consider it's wise to sell out to the highest bidder.
And I'll stop there before I end up going to hell. Next voice.
NC from the Nutcracker / Moaning Myrtle.
Oh, Lord. Why did they get her to play the Nutcracker?
I don't know.
You got all these other Harry Potter alumni in the cast. You couldn't go for Daniel Radcliffe?
Daniel Radcliffe?
Yeah? No?
No.
He wouldn't.
He's so much better than that.
So much better than Moaning Myrtle. Anyway.
Next day, a big red flag waved over the lintel of Santa Claus's door. Bell ringers went out who tramped about and proclaimed aloud to the gathering crowd that the sale would be held at 4:30. The people ran to the doors to see what in the world the commotion could be. They stood aghast as the criers passed, proclaiming Santa Claus's decree. With voices strong in a dull sing-song, the criers cried as they went along. Hear ye, I say, auction to die. Hear all ye people coming, come all ye people along the highway. Hark to the call, come one, come all. Come to the auction at Santa Claus Hall. There will be sold goods new and old. Come with your silver and come with your gold. Because I sound like a little boy, I do.
Next.
Smog from The Hobbit.
Pass.
Oh, I was thinking of okay, I was going, why are you passing on that? You've done that before. No, that's not Smog. That's Gollum. Do Gollum.
I was gonna say, if there is a voice that you're thinking of done, then we can try him. But yes.
Yes, do that.
Wondering the people all hot to the sale, and the auctioneer with jovial cheer took up the startling tale. Francis, he announced, I offer you marvelous bargains at this venue. We shall sacrifice at a nominal price a well-established business routes, stocks and fixtures and all to boot. In that direction observes, if you pleases, an immense thick grove of Christmas trees, while yonder forest, as you may know, dear bushels of holly and mistletoe. Thank you.
Bob Dylan.
Then there's a lumberyard piled high, with thousands of Yule logs fine and dry. There's no use to trying to produce such a turkey, or a chicken, or duck, or a goose, as is found in the poultry yard hard by.
Thank you.
Very good. You know, watch that one. Are we still on this one?
I suppose I could do one more.
One more? Okay.
There's a factory in which all sorts of toys are made for good little girls and boys, and a paint shop too, where they paint tops blue, and a long strong sled is painted red, or pink cheeks to put on a wax doll's head. Hey, we're done with that one. Let's move on. Yeah.
Okay, so now I think we should move on to the surprise bonus story.
We're not done with that one yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you
Sorry.
said one more. Okay.
Sorry. I meant one more little stanza for this voice. Next voice.
Next voice.
We got
is...
2 pages left of this poem. You see, it's almost done.
Michael Caine.
There's a candy kitchen where white-capped cooks fling ropes of taffy or bright red hooks. They made lemon sticks and chocolate bricks, butterscotch, caramels, jujubes, pralines, peanut bar, marshmallows, fudge, nougatines. There's another great kitchen where more cooks make mince pies, plum puddings, and frosted cake. There's a press which prints carols and couches and glees to sing at Christmas jubilees. Then out in the barn there's a beautiful sleigh and 8 prancing reindeer, high-stepping and gay. But time would fail to go into detail of all the parts of this wonderful sale. Next.
Kylo Ren.
And all in one lot, it's for sale on the spot. And as to the price, I care not a jot. So what am I bid? For I must get rid of every toy and candy and carol, of the whole complete outfit, lock, stock, and barrel. Then something happened, a rushing sound, as if a cyclone had burst its bound. Such a racket and uproar and hubbub of noise as can only be made by irate girls and boys, and with a clamorous clatter and deafening din, a myriad of children came scampering in.
And then he killed them all. The end. Next voice.
Next voice.
Got one more voice for this story.
One more voice for the story. Okay. Mr. Rogers.
To Santa Claus's side, they flew and they cried, "Oh, stop this venue. That tale isn't true. We don't want another. We want only you." They pulled down the red flag and the poor auctioneer just fled for his life in a tumult of fear, while Santa Claus smiled with at each furious child and said soothingly, There, don't worry, my dear." And then he turned to the crowd and said very loud, "This auction will now take occasion to state, as is postponed until some future indefinite date." So the kids rushing him saved Christmas. Oh.
And that's the end of that. On to our mystery story. Can I get a drum roll, please, Raven?
I'm not a drum roll.
Yes. Ta-da! The Witch's Vacuum Cleaner and Other Stories by Terry Pratchett. Let us begin with our title story, The Witch's Vacuum Cleaner, which will be found on what page? Page 1. Makes sense.
This is story time with Bobsheaux, not singing time with Raven. Although I will say that I do tend to do whatever a sponsored post requests. So just saying.
If you want her to sing. Just saying. That's not my problem.
Exactly.
All right, first voice for The Witch's Vacuum Cleaner.
Martian Manhunter.
Mr. Ronald, Uncle Ron Swimble, liked birthdays because they meant parties. And since he was a part-time conjurer, that meant engagements.
That's Marvin the Martian.
Yes? Isn't that what you said?
No, I said Martian Manhunter.
I'm stupid, excuse me.
You are not stupid. Don't do that. I hate it when you do that. Don't say that.
I don't know.
I was enjoying your Marvin the Martian voice.
Let's go ahead and keep on enjoying that then, because I don't know Martian Manhunter.
And to be fair, when I wrote down Martian Manhunter, I was thinking Marvin the Martian. So there you have it.
Oh, there you go.
Carry on.
He can make eggs appear out of nowhere, pull flags of all nations out of people's ears, do different card tricks, and was generally very good at the sort of magic that's learned at hard practice in front of a mirror. Uh-oh, there's an annotation here. An even harder practice in front of people, for not many mirrors shout things like rubbish. And if your mirror does, you probably don't need to worry about whether or not you can learn tricks to do magic. Knowing how to run away very fast would be a far more useful skill. Very true. He was president of the Blackberry Magic Rectangle too.
Next voice.
Neil Breen,
Pass.
Doc Brown.
Uncle Ron had a parrot named Mims who could pick cards out of a hat and liked to shout, and a daughter called Lucy who generally stood on a stage saying very little, but who took his cloak and handed him Mims in a cage, and so on. All three were happy until the night of Jimmy Weddle's 10th birthday party at the town hall. Uncle Ron walked onto the stage, and all the children bellowed, "Hello, Uncle Ron!" And they really wanted you to know, hey, hello, Uncle Ron. It's really out there. And then his hat fell off, and 3 rabbits tumbled out. Great Scott! Next.
Movie phone voice.
Movie phone voice. Sorry, don't know that one.
I don't know who that is. Papa Smurf.
Pass.
George Takei.
He bent down, oh my, to pick them up, and a flock of pigeons burst out of his jacket. A daffodil shot out of his ear, and his bow tie began to revolve at high speed. It was all very entertaining, and young Jimmy Waddle was wide-eyed with amazement. But the most surprised person in the hall was Uncle Ron. They weren't his tricks, and anyway, he was allergic to rabbits. He tried to carry on, but his act went all to pot. He did plenty of tricks, like turning a top hat into a vase of flowers and making a table disappear. But he didn't mean to. Every time he moved his hands, something appeared or vanished. He was almost in tears by the time he reached for his pack of cards. And when that turned into a glass of wine, he ran off the stage. So this guy's problem is that he's really good at magic, just the wrong tricks. Okay. Next voice.
Tommy Lee Jones.
That's a new lot, began Lucy. They're not mine. I don't know what this... I don't know what's happening. I haven't even got many pigeons. Cake! Screamed Mims. Okay. The audience was still clapping, and Ronald had to go and take 2 bows before he could make... or before he could say any more. Everyone was shaking his hand and asking how he did it. Finally, he reached his dressing room and locked the door. Next voice.
David K's Megatron.
We already did him.
Okay.
Beast Wars Megatron.
Rob Paulson's Raphael.
Pass.
Tigger.
I don't know how it happened, he said, but with all the... But if this, all I had to do was point my finger at something, and that, like that cupboard there, and say, "Turn into a hat stand," and then it turned into a hat stand. "Jam!" screamed Mims. Ronald pointed his finger at his hat. "Vanish!" he said hoarsely. It did. They went home by taxi. Every now and again, Ron would point his finger at things on the pavement, just to see if his magic still worked there. And 3 lampposts turned into a stork, a yellow elephant on wheels, and a baby's buggy.
You've got to do less in each individual voice because we have a lot of suggestions. We want to get through as many of them as possible.
All right, next.
Yakko.
The trouble came when he paid the taxi driver. Because although Uncle Ron could turn things into other things, he didn't have much control over what might change or what something could turn into. So when he took his wallet out of his pocket, it suddenly became a cheese sandwich. Lucy had to pay the fare out of her lunch money, and the taxi drove off hurriedly.
Okay. His wallet turned into a cheese sandwich. There you go.
The front door key is in my waistcoat pocket, said Ron through clenched teeth. I don't think I can touch things anymore. Story of Zoidberg's life. You better unlock the door in case I turn it into something unmentionable, why not? Gloves, said Lucy. That's it. Put a pair on, and then you'll be able to touch things again. I haven't got any, Ron said miserably. And if I had, they turned it into something as soon as I touched them.
Next.
Okra.
Lucy fetched a pair of red woolly ones with deft rabbits embroidered in odd colors on the back. Sure enough, as soon as Ron touched them, they changed into socks. That gave him an idea. That gave her an idea. She went and got a pair of her father's socks, and sure enough, these changed into red woolly gloves as soon as he put them on his hands.
Okay, that's lucky. Next.
Chamberlain.
Oh boy.
Ron slumped onto a chair and picked up the phone. He asked some of his fellow conjurers from Blackberry Magic Rectangle to come round at once, and soon the little house was filled with people. What's this? Ron told them, taking his gloves off and pointing at a little potted cactus. It turned into a bowl of marbles. Everyone gasped satisfactorily except for one woman, who had just looked out of the window and seen a small-wheeled elephant trundling by towing a stork on a baby's buggy.
All right. Next.
The general from Dark Crystal.
That's not trickery, said Ron. It's the real thing. Proper magic. Marmalade, Mim screeched. There's no such thing, scoffed Amir Raj, who did card tricks. It's all an illusion, added Presto Changeo, who sawed his assistant in half twice nightly. Sandwich, screamed Mims, wrapping his beak against his cage. Next.
Stay tuned for some Dark Crystal stuff I think might be coming up this year.
Oh, second season. Come on.
Second season, you have a lot of stuff to work with before the second season comes out.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, it's been a good run.
Oh, no.
We have another one to add to the list.
What's that?
Daddy Derek.
Oh, life is really funny sometimes.
I know, right? Ha, ha, ha.
I'm sorry, don't you mean?
No, I didn't mean that at all. Not even a little bit.
So anyway, Daddy Derek.
Ooh.
Ronald turned the table into a lawnmower. What can I do? He said. I can make my fortune, I suppose, but I don't want to have to wear gloves all the time. And anyway, I might turn something good into something dreadful. Or something right into something wrong. Could it have been anything you've eaten? Did anything unusual happen today? Asked Presto.
Oh.
Let's see now. Not much. The only thing unusual I can remember is knocking over an old lady's vacuum cleaner when I went to work this morning. It was in the park. No idea why. She went on something dreadful about it, but she had leaned it against my car. Next.
He really doesn't know how big of a joke he is, does he?
He does not.
He actually thinks that there are people out there that take him seriously.
I'm pretty sure Tommy Wiseau is in on the irony of his fandom. He probably gets it.
I just saw a suggestion from Dream Master Philip DeFranco. Oh my god, I love Philip DeFranco, but Rob doesn't watch Philip DeFranco, so he can't do his voice.
Yeah, sorry, no.
You beautiful bastards.
I'm sorry, since you did that, I got to do a little makeshift Lily real quick, which I so wish I did for my review of Alpha and Omega 2, but I didn't think of it at the time. You magnificent bastards! I read your book.
You have no idea who Philip DeFranco is, do you?
He's a YouTube personality.
Yes, he has come up from YouTube obscurity all the way to being, I think he may be the most watched YouTube news program site-wide. He's amazing. I love him. Love him.
Oh, I see. He's
And he's cute.
amazing. You love him.
You do? I love him.
I see how it is. You don't think I'm amazing?
I do think you're amazing, but then you turn around and do voices like Daddy Derek and shit, so.
Am I supposed to deny my fans what they want?
Only if you want me to love you.
Yeah, okay, there you go. If Raven and I ever break up, knock on wood, it's on your heads.
Knock on wood because you want us to break up? Hey!
You know what I mean.
Are you sure? Do
Yes.
I? Are you ready for the next voice?
I just gotta say this real quick. If I wanted you to break up with me, I would just turn on the Daddy Derek and never stop.
That's the one you choose from the list?
Oh! Suppose I could do the others, couldn't I?
No, you can't. Next voice is
Next
Darth
voice.
Vader.
It was a small lady with a brown coat and a sort of flower pot hat full of hat pins. He asked, or asked Lucy, who had been listening to all this. It was, oh dear, I never thought of that. That's Mrs. Riley. She's a witch. Biscuits, crisps, ice cream came from Mims.
I love Trevor Noah too.
Mm,
If you're a fan of Stephen Colbert as well, you and I are going to be best friends. Where I get all my news.
Next voice.
Oh, sorry.
Stay focused, stay focused.
Draken.
Who?
Dr. Draken.
You speak as if I should know him?
Kim Possible.
Sorry, you don't know him.
Master Splinter.
You mean she's put a spell on me, said Ron, ignoring his parrot. That's ridiculous. Magic doesn't exist, began Presto Changeo, and stopped when Ron turned a pencil into a small banana. I think that just proved otherwise, said Ron, picking up the banana and absent-mindedly peeling it. The question is, what can we do about it? Next.
Using the half shell, turtle power.
I made a funny!
Okay, I don't know this person. Captain Raymond Holt.
Nor do I. Pass.
Dr. Nick.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Dr. Nick. Go around and plead with her, said Presto, practically. So Uncle Ron and the other Blackberry conjurers set out for Mrs. Riley's house, which was number 3, Dahlia Crescent, and didn't look much as though it belonged to a witch. There were lots of pretty flowers in front of the garden, for instance. Lucy rang the bell twice, and Presto hammered on the door. They peered through the windows, but couldn't see very much, as she seemed to have a small forest of houseplants on the sill inside. It's no good. She must be asleep or out, said Ron.
Next.
Who is Dr. Nick, by the way?
Another Simpsons character who's basically just a really bad Desi Arnaz impression.
Waspinator.
And there was a noise above them, like a vacuum cleaner. It was a vacuum cleaner, and it was hovering in the air with Mrs. Riley straddling it. A jet of dust was shooting out, keeping it aloft. Oh, it's you, Swimble, she said. And I suppose you've come around to beg me to take the spell off.
Next, Bart Simpson.
Pass.
Yeah, usually pass on Bart Simpson. I couldn't remember for sure, though. Silverbolt from Beast Wars.
If you don't mind, began Ron, staring at the vacuum cleaner. I certainly do. Anyway, you're a conjurer, always making out that you can do magic, so get rid of the spell yourself. We don't do that kind of magic, ma'am, said Presto. She peered angrily at him. You don't even believe in it, she snapped. Cat's teeth. card tricks and rabbits out of hats. You're a lot of arrogant usurpers. Next.
Raven, what was your sponsored post for? You didn't give me a voice.
Yes.
Okay, we'll get back to that. Professor Radigan?
She means you're intruding where you're not wanted, said Lucy. Come away, Dad, before she gets too angry. The vacuum cleaner roared and started to rise again. What a remarkable lady, said Ron admiringly, watching the witch zoom away over the rooftops. Is there a Mr. Riley? Oh, he got lost at sea, eh? Well, she sure is a fine woman. Professor Radigan, it's just Vincent Price.
Gotcha.
Next.
Just as a note, guys, a lot of the things, especially those who haven't been here the whole time, you're suggesting stuff that he's already done. And we still have an entire two-sided page to get through for voices. So chances are new voices come back at the 5 o'clock stream and suggest them, because I'm hoping that he has a whole different set of voices other than the classics that he has to do, legally, contractually obligated, like Tommy Wiseau and the list.
The list, that's what we're calling it.
I love the variety that we've had today. This is the best variety we've had in a long time. You guys have really had some good suggestions.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Ready?
Ready.
Dinobot.
That night, Ron found it way uncomfortable. Ron found it was very uncomfortable to sleep wearing woolly gloves, but he couldn't take them off in case he turned the bed into a knife rack or a horse. What on earth am I going to do, he wondered. Ron had to take the next day off from his ordinary job because of his magic hands. Lucy phoned the factory where his father worked and said he had the flu, because she had thought it was better to tell his boss that than the unbelievable truth. Yeah, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, this story is sounding very much like that guy from the Skittles commercials, who somehow had the touch where he could turn anything into Skittles. And one of his co-workers says, "Oh, that's a really amazing ability." And then he tells about what it was like when he held his firstborn son for the first time. Yeah.
Raven McNair
Chilling.
has answered. Their sponsored post is the request for either the Wizard of Oz or the Wicked Witch.
Presto Changeo came around at lunchtime. I've got an idea, my pretty. Can't we get the vicar to do something? Mrs. Riley is in the choir, and she's embroidered thousands of kneelers, sighed Lucy. Reverend Cow Parsley, okay, would never believe she's a witch. Anyway, she's a nice old soul at heart, just a bit bad-tempered. I quite like her, actually.
Next.
And I was plugging down the last of my cold coffee.
Cold coffee. Sorry, baby.
Trade Federation leader.
Oh, why?
I don't know who that is, so I can't answer that question.
I know who it is. Let's see. Perhaps if I went around to see her with a box of chalks and some flowers, she might forgive me, said Lon, brushing. Bananas, screamed Mims. And to think I see her every week when she comes in to change her library books, said Plesto, who worked in the library.
Oh my god, that was so racist.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I am offended.
They're not even magic books either. Just novels about doctors. You know
Okay,
the
next,
sorts. I don't know what George Lucas was thinking, but he gave the two leaders of the Trade Federation in the prequel trilogy these ridiculous super Chinese accents.
Next voice.
Yes, and next voice,
Next.
please.
Stop. Pepe Le Pew.
You racist bastard. Just novels about doctors. You know this sort. Dr. Fingdangle and the Angel of World 10 or Love Among the Bedpans. And books on gardening like My Troublesome Fig and other terrible torments. If I hadn't seen her on her vacuum cleaner, I'd never believed that she was a witch. Pizza, added the mims. They just-
Long-haired loser says that he thinks that they think they were meant to be Romanian.
Romanian. Wow, did they fail hard at that?
How do you go for Romanian and get Asian?
I have no idea. It seems to me that if you're doing Romanian, the old standby voice for that would be Bela Lugosi. No? Do you not think?
Apparently, George Lucas needed a globe.
He spent too much of his life in that galaxy far, far away. He doesn't know what Earth voices are. But anyway, next voice.
Pepe the King Prawn.
Oh Lord. I was just
I made it sound like I said Pepe. Pepe.
I was just revisiting that review this morning before coming on.
Oh really?
Yes. Gardening, eh? Murmured Ron, who knew his nettles from his nightshade. I have an idea, okay? After lunch, he put on his best clothes, polished his top hat, stuck a few tricks in his pockets, and set out for Mrs. Riley's neat little house. She opened the door a fraction after he knocked umpteen times. Oh, it's you, he said. Go away before I... Mrs. Riley, I want to see you, okay? Please let me in, or I shall take my gloves off and turn your door knocker into a penguin. A penguin? A penguin. Next.
Oh, made me think of my dog that I had when I was little. One of the dogs I had was named Peppy, but he was a registered Shih Tzu. So the name on his AKC registration was Peppy Way to My Heart. That was his fancy registered name. Peppy Way to My Heart.
I'm sorry, I think I'm missing something. What does that have to do with him being a Shih Tzu?
He had a fancy registered name.
Oh, okay. That's it.
His name, we called him Peppy. And he was dumb as a box of rocks, but very adorable. as purebreds often are, very dumb.
Oh, poor baby. Next voice.
Miss Piggy.
Oh, wipe your feet then. Sitting among the tiny tables and highly polished furniture of her little front room, peering at the witch through her little jungle of pot plants, Ron said, Mrs. Riley, you see before you a bewildered man. Everything I touch won't stay the same. It's getting on my nerves, and I'm very sorry, and, Mrs. Riley, will you marry me?
Oh, wow.
Hey, I like Jar Jar Binks. Do Jar Jar Binks.
Oh, God, no.
I like Jar Jar Binks, and I am not ashamed to say that.
You are the only one.
Apparently, George Lucas likes Jar Jar Binks.
Yes, he did. And in doing so, he inadvertently made up the theory that... No. He didn't make up this theory. That's beside the point. But in his love for Jar Jar Binks, he made him solely responsible for everything that goes wrong in the Star Wars universe.
I don't care. I don't like Star Wars.
Everything.
Jar Jar Binks.
Oh, muy, said Mrs. Riley, as Ron produced a small purple fashion house plant out of midair. Ever since my dear wife died, I've been looking for another lady who really understood magic, he said, producing a box of chocolates from his top hat. Oh, once I used to marry me, Mr. Riley, and that's be the happiest country in Blackberry. Wah! If you could see your way to clear your taking your spirit off of me, I should be so happy.
Yes, it's wrong for me to do these other racist voices, but Jar Jar Binks, he's fine.
Hang on, choking on water. Oh, who said that? Crypto457 says Jar Jar, aka Darth Annoyus.
Mammy, Misa coming home, Mammy. That's your
Oh, Lord.
Oh, and now for a completely different genre,
And now for something completely different.
Shere Khan.
Oh, wow, whiplash.
I'm telling you. Can you hear the brake squeal?
Mrs. Riley blew her nose. Well, this is sudden, she said. Ah, yes, Mrs. Riley, or I will throw myself into the Blackberry Municipal Boating Lake, cried Ron. Yes, she said. The wedding was a quiet one, and Presto Changeo, who was best man, lost the ring but produced a string of flags of all nations, a box of eggs, pigeons, a pack of cards, glasses, and ping-pong balls from his pockets instead. Yes, that's a fine substitute for a wedding ring, I suppose. Final voice for this story?
Gonzo. The Great.
Yes, the great Gonzo. Then the happy couple walked out of the church under an archway of top hats and broomsticks. The Reverend Arnold Cowparsley, the vicar, thought it was a bit unusual, but said nothing. Even when Ron and his new wife rode off on a vacuum cleaner decorated with tin cans and ribbons. Led by Lucy, everyone cheered, except for Mims. Brussels sprouts! He screeched loudly. The end. Thank you, the great Gonzo.
Okay, so we're going to do one more of the short stories.
I was going to say, where do we want to keep on going from here?
One more.
One more.
But you need to keep it to just very little for each character because we still have a lot of voices that they'd like to hear.
Whatever voices we don't do here, couldn't we just carry those over into the next stream?
We can.
Because I don't know how many voices we have left versus how much reading I have left to do.
Well, I would like to try and get as many of these in as possible.
Of course.
Because there's going to be a whole bunch of other people that couldn't come to this one that are going to be making suggestions for that one, and their suggestions need to be considered first.
All right, then. That makes sense. Let's see. Our options are The Great Train Robbery, The Truly Terrible Toothache, The Frozen Feud, Darby and the Submarine,
Stupid Darby.
The Sheep Rodeo Scandal, The Ant Called 4179003, The Fire Opal, Lord Cake and the Battle for Banwin's Beacon, The Time-Traveling Television, The Blackberry Park Statues, Wizard War, The Extraordinary Adventures of Duggins, and Rince Mangle, the Gnome of Even More. More spelled M-O-O-R.
What was the next story in the list from the one you just read?
Just go in sequence. The next story was The Great Train Robbery.
Let's do that one.
Let's do that one. Okay. Turning to page 16.
Oh, wait,
right there.
Did you say Lord Cake was one of the...
It was Lord Cake and the Battle for Banwin's Beacon.
Okay, well, we've had a couple of people ask for that, so let's do that one.
Oh, yeah?
instead.
Okay.
Yeah, just keep up with which ones we're doing because we don't want to redo them at 5.
Right.
The next stream is at 5 p.m. Pacific time,
Yes.
which is in just 4.5 hours. So.
Oh, Lord.
Oh.
What voice are we reading for Lord Cake and the Battle for Banwin's Beacon?
Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, God. And what a doozy of a sentence this is, because this is taking place in Wales. Has anyone been to Wales? And are you familiar with the incredibly long and ridiculous words that they have there? Because, yeah, it's nuts. Anyway, you've all heard of Landan Fwyn Fafag get a go-go, a little border town in the wild west of Wales, and how it became famous during the Great Coal Rush of 1881. Yes, it became a boom town with wild gambling parties and drinking in the rip-roaring Temperance Hotel until often as late as 9 p.m. There were sheep rodeos too, and every
A lot.
Hmm?
Cut it off so you can do the next voice.
I'm working on it. The end of the paragraph is almost here. Don't rush me.
You don't need to do the whole paragraph. I'm telling you.
I don't know where to stop. If not then.
After a couple of sentences.
Okay, fine. Next voice.
Next voice.
Yeah.
And you do have some people in the chat who have been to Wales.
Yes, very lovely country. Very hard to say.
Watto.
There were sheep rodeos too, and every day wagon trains left across the wild wet mountains and colonized the fertile valleys of Aberystwyth and Fishguard. But the full story of the coal rush was never been told. Well, it will be now.
Okay, next.
Battle droid?
It was a wild gray Welsh day when a piece of the old public bar was disturbed by wild cries of "Call, call, it's call, look you, isn't it?" Okay. Next.
Marge Simpson?
Pass.
Count Dooku.
That was Christopher Lee. We already did him.
Okay. Linkara.
Everyone rushed to the window. Down the street galloped a big, shaggy cart horse, and on its back was a little old man covered in coal dust from head to foot. In one hand, he waved a great big nugget of coal, and he said, "I am a man!" Punch.
Mr. T.
By the time he reached the SA office, halfway down, half the town was following him. An SA office, as you probably know, is where gold prospectors can find out if the gold that they find is really gold and how much it's actually worth. And so, only this one was for coal, of course. So they wanted to see if it was real gold or fool's gold.
Patchy the Pirate.
Pass.
Tom Kinney's. Oh, never mind. Here, we did that. Murray Franklin.
Pure anthracite, said the man at the office. Worth as much as 2 pounds a ton. Where'd you find it? Up on Banwan's Beacon, said little prospector. I'd just like to stake my claim, please. And my name's Rupert Pullover. And for our next guest, please welcome Rupert Pullover. Da, 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 da.
Frodo.
Pass.
Barney the Dinosaur.
Anthracite! The news whizzed round the town like a bullet, and soon everyone was loading up their donkeys with picks and shovels and claim jumpers. Benwood's Beacon was a large bald hill above the village. A wide seam of coal came across to the surface there, and all Rupert Pullover had done was dig down through the turf.
Next.
Yogurt from Spaceballs.
It wasn't long before all work had stopped in the village. The clang of picks and shovels floated down from the beacon, and every sheep and cart for miles around had hauled in to take the coal away. Everything would have been fine if a tall man wearing a forbidding Ebola hat hadn't climbed up the hill. He called out to the miners to stop work. Next voice.
Bill Murray's Baloo.
As clerk of the county council, he said, I have to tell you all that you are trespassing. But this is common land, said Rupert Pullover. It doesn't belong to anyone. According to papers deposited in our offices this morning, said the clerk, it belongs to Lord Cake. I should clear off if you don't want it to be up before the magistrates tomorrow. Next. My Bill Murray sucks.
Ultron.
Pass.
Dr. Robotnik.
Lord Cake owned a big sheep farm not far from the as well as well-known. Okay, you read it. You've got your pen and paper here. Write this down. It is LLAND.
Hold on. LL
Yes.
AND
ANFF
ANFF
WNFAF
WNFAF. Oh my God.
EGE
EGE
TTU
TTU.
TTU
Okay.
PAGOGO.
Wow.
Yeah, that's Wales right there. You see those kind of words everywhere.
Hang on.
And now you're looking it up to pronounce.
I'm going to Google Translate to see if it has a pronunciation.
It's probably nuff or something. Yes, to any Welsh people in my audience, I am sorry, but really?
Hang on, be quiet for a minute. Mandan Juan fue gue tu pagogo. It's a robot voice. It's not very good.
No, Google is trying its hardest, but bless its heart, it can't do it.
Can't. That's. Woo. Go go.
Love it, dig it, baba.
Go go.
Anyway, Lord Cake owned a big sheep farm not far from and was well known and was a well-known local cheat and general nuisance. How can it be? How can it belong to Lord Cake? Asked Di Tatton, the village grocer, now also a prospector with everyone else in the village. It's not belonged to anyone for hundreds of years, boyo. Dr. Robotnik saying boyo. There you go. Next voice.
Kent Borkman?
Kent Brockman, news anchor in Simpsons. It's all legal, said the clerk, and hurried off before they started to throw things. Let's get back down to the village and see about this, said Di. Rupert Pullover, Di Tatton, and the other prospectors rushed down to the village. This is Kent Brockman. Next voice.
Robin Williams Genie.
Pass. I can't do him.
Yeah, but don't say ugh.
I respectfully decline.
Will Smith Genie.
I can do Will Smith, which is the same damn thing.
So.
It's true, said the man in the SA office. Just like he came down and shouting and finding coal when a Lord Cake's men brought down the deeds for the Beacon Hill. That means he owns a Banwin's Beacon, and if you dig up that coal, you might be put in prison. But Banwin's Beacon it doesn't belong to anyone. Boyo, said Di Tatton. Will Smith saying
Smith
boyo.
doesn't sound like that.
Well, that's the best I can do. Sue me.
Oh, sorry. You're no Will Smith.
I'm no Will Smith. Shut up.
But you do a mighty fine Sean Connery.
The paper said it belonged to Lord Cake.
Hmm.
It's a rotten fiddle, said Rupert Pullover when they were outside again. Yes, this voice does not belong with a Rupert Pullover. Just then the door of the saloon bar swung open, and out came Lord Cake with his bailiffs behind him. He resembled a large pudding and had a face as red as a cherry. When he walked, he wobbled so much that he looked like he would fall over. He looked like a large pudding, okay. Next voice.
Starscream.
I heard you, Pullover, he growled. It's about time your little coal miners were taught a lesson. I'm going to have the Great Western Railway brought through the village and take the coal away, and you can't stop me! Wow, that was perfect. It actually says that. Next.
Uncle Fester.
You know, Banwood's Beacon doesn't really belong to you, said Rupert. I'll tell you what, said Lord Cake. If you can prove Banwood's Beacon doesn't belong to me, then you'll be able to mine coal there, won't you? And with another evil laugh, he waddled away down the street. That's Fester doing an evil laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Next.
Rocket Raccoon.
Pass.
Igor from Young Frankenstein.
There's an old map in the bank, whispered Di. That'll show whose Banwin. That'll show whose Banwin's beacon belongs to. But when they got to the bank, there was Lord Cake. Well, he said. If you're looking for a certain map, well, it's locked in the vaults. And since I have just bought the bank, he grinned nastily. Next.
Bonkers.
Pass.
Eeyore.
That night, the miners held a meeting in the public bar. It was a typical Wild West saloon with people gambling huge sums at dominoes and darts and someone playing cheerful tunes on the piano. I hate cheerful tunes on the piano. Next.
Winnie the Pooh.
So it's all agreed, said Rupert. To get the map, tomorrow morning we'll rob the bank.
Winnie the Pooh in a bank robbery. There you go.
Can't we pitch a bit of honey too? Oh no, wait, money, my mistake, said Di. Just the map. Waste of an opportunity if you ask me, said Di.
Next.
Piglet.
Now, you all know what we've got to do, asked Rupert. One-armed Evans and Black-Eye Morgan will attract the attention of Police Constable Hodgkins while me and Di rob the bank. And we'll have... And Tom will have our getaway bicycles waiting outside. He looked around them all and added, "Ooh, we've got only one chance, so we better do... So things had better go well. Otherwise, Lord Cake will have our coal."
Next.
Killer Croc.
Tomorrow came, and Rupert Pullover's plan for stealing the map from Pogo Bank went into action. Rupert and Di Tanton waited outside, and the bank opened. Then, with spotted handkerchiefs over their faces, they brandished pistols bought only at that morning from the toy shop. They rushed in. "Reach for the sky, partner," said Di, waving his pistol at the manager. And then he threw a rock at him. It was a big rock. Next.
Oscar the Grouch.
Rupert Pullover felt a bit of a fool. Stop putting your hands in the air and open the safe. We don't want your money, just the map. Lord Cake said I wasn't to let it out of my sight, said the manager. We'll fill you full of holes, boyo, said Di, who was really enjoying himself. Next.
Snuffy.
But Rupert took the manager's keys and started to open the safe. Now the news of the robbery was spreading like an out-of-control fire. And when P.C. Hodgkins at the police station heard it, he rushed out on his bike, only to find that someone had let his tires down. It was all part of the plan, Bird.
Nice.
Next.
Strong Bad.
Only got a handful of voices here. Let's see. He pulled up to the bank just as Rupert and Di were escaping on their getaway bicycles. But Lord Cake had heard the commotion too, and he knew that it could only mean one thing. Sooner than it takes to tell, he and his men were cycling madly in pursuit of our heroes. "We'll take a shortcut and head them off at the library," he bawled. Okay. Strong Bad off to the library. Wrap your head around that.
Uncle Deadly.
There's too little Uncle Deadly in the world.
Yes.
Faster went Rupert and Di, but Cake and his cronies were ganging on them. Up Banwin's Beacon they went, and whizzed back up the high street to the assay office. Here is the map, panted Rupert, throwing it over the counter. It proves that Banwin's Beacon doesn't belong to anyone. Next voice.
Boba Fett,
Pass.
Jabba the Hutt,
It belongs to the whole village, Puffed Eye. Lord Cake came wobbling in, very out of breath, but a crowd of miners rushed up and caught him by his coat. Up came P.C. Hodgkins too.
Jabba the Hutt in English. There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
that was good.
Thank you.
The Ghost of Christmas Present from the Muppet Christmas Carol.
You haven't robbed any banks today by any... You haven't robbed any banks today by any chance, he said, looking closely at Rupert. Absolutely not. Really. A masked man dropped this from his bicycle, said Rupert, who had stuffed his mask into his pocket. Final voice for this story?
Dr. Teeth.
But arrest that man for forgery and claim jumping, and riding a bike without a bell, now that I come to think of it. So all the miners were able to go up to Banwin's Beacon, and each was able to mine his own mine. And that was how the Great Coal Rush started. And it all became so very fine and profitable.
And there we go. 2 fine stories from The Witch's Vacuum Cleaner and other stories.
And he will be reading from that this evening for the second, for the encore presentation. 2 different stories, at least 2 different stories.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we'll get started on time so we can do more.
Yes,
But,
it's okay.
this
Don't
was
beat yourself
fun.
over it. Yes, the time is now 1 o'clock Pacific time, so be sure to come back in a whole 4 hours. Must rest the pipes for this one.
Yes. Although I have to say, his hoarse, overworked voice is quite sexy, so I'm not complaining.
Mm.
By the end of tonight's live stream, he will have that voice, and I'll be good with that.
Oh yes, this is so sexy, isn't it?
Dude, that's not how you sound. Shut up. Thank you guys for coming. This was a lot of fun.
Yes, as always, thank you all so much. We got a lot of people in today, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We had a lot of people. I'm gonna call about my kitty, and then I will post an update on Twitter.
Yes, please do. Please do.
And if you're under 18, please don't follow me on Twitter. Follow Bobsheaux. He will post the update about the cat too.
I'm sorry, baby. They love me, and as such, they love you.
I know.
What are we
I
supposed
love
to do?
interacting with them, but you're gonna find stuff on my Twitter that you don't want to see. You really shouldn't.
That's not
be on my
true.
Twitter.
They shouldn't see it, but it doesn't mean they don't want to see it.
No, Twitter, no, because I have to do my business stuff and advertise my business stuff on there. So, don't follow me on Twitter unless you're 18 or older and are prepared to see non-Bobsheaux related stuff.
Oh my. So yes, thank you all for joining us today. And be sure to tune in for the next stream at 5 o'clock in 4 hours. We will see you guys later.
Bye, guys.